Hey, you are now listening or watching the Halos in the Infield podcast, sponsored in part by Noble L Works over on 1621 South Sinclair, where you can get discounts by just mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield, drink discounts on us, baby. And also by 714 Tickets. The price you see is the price you get, and you also get 10% additionally off in the Apply Now code once you order your tickets just by mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield. Now enjoy the show.
Live every night on the Halos in the Infield Baseball Network.
Welcome to the Halos in the Infield Postgame podcast with Todd Fox, sponsored by Noble Ale Works Brewery, as well as 714 Tickets. This is your nightly destination for all things Los Angeles Angels. Come join Todd as he recaps every thrilling and disappointing moment from tonight's game, win or lose. Get ready for insightful analysis, fan reactions, and Todd's engaging commentary. Plus, fans can call in live to the Halo hotline to have their voices and opinions heard as well.
It's the Halo hotline.
Stay tuned in for your chance to win free Halos merchandise with our weekly trivia.
It's all about the game.
It's time to dive into the heart of Angels baseball with Todd Fox on the Halos in the Infield Postgame podcast.
There's a drive from Mike Trout. See you later. That is long gone.
It's the Todd Fox Postgame Podcast with your host, Todd Fox.
Good evening, everybody. It's your host, Todd Fox, here on the Halos in the Infield post-game show and post-game network, the only place where you can get the real takes, the real vibes, the real everything. The realness is flowing and oozing through this show and through this network, thanks to you who control the show and me who am the puppet, which is going to be given away on August 2nd. I am your rally monkey. I am Todd Fox. Welcome into the show Tuesday evening as the Angels rally their monkeys and beat the Colorado Rockies, the powerful 4A Colorado Rockies. They are the minor league system for most teams, and it's year in and year out. The same old story with them. They've got a beautiful ballpark. Boy, it sounds familiar. They have a shit owner. Boy, that sounds familiar. They can hit, but they can't pitch. They can never pitch. That is kind of up and down with the Angels. Usually it's one or the other. So we're kind of close to the Rockies, but we don't do what they do, which is just, groom some players, get them good, and then send them off to somebody else for some more minor leaguers. But that's besides the point. And I'll get into the game tonight. But before I even do get into what happened with the Angels winning tonight and Matt Theis's great night and the Angels falling behind early, Canning's bad start, I'll get into all that. Just be patient for a second. I need to explain something and get something off my chest. So today we did the trade deadline special. We hung in there for all those who did with us for 2.5 hours. And we sat down, we broke down the trades that were made with other teams. We broke down the previous trade with Esteves the other day, and we gave our thoughts on that. We were speculating on who could go where, who needed to go somewhere, why we can't hold on to these players. Why it's just not Matt wise to hold on to these players. See what I did there? It's not good. For what you started with Esteves, it's sort of like, hey, we're breaking ground on this new apartment building. Let's shovel the first dirt, pile of dirt, to show that we're doing something. But then as soon as we do something, we put the dirt right back in the pile that we just dug to start the project. Because that should have been a flurry of activity for the Angels. The Angels should have been a major player in sending out players. My personal observation that has not been said online, as far as, I said this on a deadline, but I don't see it anywhere else. But when the trade deadline thing closed, I believe wholeheartedly that the picks or the players that they got back in the Esteves trade were better than what they offered, what they gave up. which is, I believe the Angels won that trade with those 2 starting pitchers or 1 starting pitcher, 1 slash reliever. Those are good commodities for the future. Those are good players. And we will see them at some point. I believe so. High strikeout ratio, good pitchers, right? The trade with Garcia today, with the 4 players they got back from Boston, Lugo's actually a pretty good hitter that could pay dividends up here right away. He's an outfielder slash infielder. Not a bad move, right? And then the other 3 players, there's another infielder in low, I think he's low A or double A or something like that. And then you got a relief pitcher and another starting pitcher, right? So you got 4 players for a rental. And in total, in 2 trades, you've got 6 players for a rental. That right there is good GMing. But my take on this, where you don't see anywhere else anyone saying anything like what I'm about to tell you, is the Angels were asking for way too much. And they got 2 teams in Philly and Boston who are desperate to either hold off second place in Philly's case, and Boston desperate to get ahead of the Yankees or Boston or Yankees or Orioles, or make it into the playoffs. They're desperate. So they pulled those moves thinking that Garcia is going to strengthen that bullpen, give him a 7th, 8th inning type guy. And the same thing with Philly. That missing piece to the bullpen. Where it didn't work was for Taylor Ward, because Pittsburgh is not stupid. Pittsburgh did not go in on Ward. They went on De La Cruz, which was a smart move. 18 homers, 56 RBIs, batting .250. Those numbers already blow away Taylor Ward. And I know you're going to say, oh, but Taylor Ward, he had a home run the other day against Oakland. He had a grand slam. He had a 2-run double tonight. I don't care. I've seen enough of Taylor Ward. I've seen enough of him to know that he is only there for a week. Watch when the Rockies passed and we need him against the Mets. He's nowhere to be found. Just watch. Or in August and September, when there is zero pressure on this team, even less than what's on this team right now to do anything because they're so far out of it. Watch how he just all of a sudden emerges and everyone's like, well, see, this is why we got to sign him back. He sucks, dude. Not reliable. And Kansas City did their homework. Cincinnati did their homework. And Pittsburgh did their homework. And they, guess what? Did not give up the players they had to for those other players. The Royals did not give up guys for the minor moves that they did that the Phillies and Red Sox did. The Pirates didn't do that for De La Cruz even. And he's a far better player than Taylor Ward, which again tells me that Perry, because of Artie and analytics, was being told to get back the absolute max for every player. And if you don't get the max for every player on the trade deadline hook right there, then pull it back. Don't do it. Because that's the only reason to me why Hunter Strickland was closing tonight. He should have been gone. He's on an expiring contract. Get what you can. If it's a 1-for-1, take the deal. Taylor Ward, take the deal. The only guy that I was like sitting there like, oh man, Renifo, I don't want to see him go. Fernando the same way. We wanted to keep him. But if you're blown away with 3-for-1 or 4-for-1, then I would have took it. As much as I love Renifo, I would have took it. For the more players that you can get back under your control for longer time, you take the deal. You take it. Because one of those players will pan out. But again, if you're asking for too much, it's not going to work. So in Renifo's case, I would have said, okay, don't take it. If you're not blown away, keep him. But Hunter Strickland should have went. Matt Moore should have got you something. And even if not, you just DFA him later, right? And then hopefully someone would have traded or you DFA'd him before this because you got Quijada there. You don't need him now. Because you were only using one lefty in that spot besides that, right? Canning blew his opportunity to be traded. And for the love of God, the one guy that could bring you back the absolute biggest haul. What were they doing? Were they asking for Shohei Ohtani kind of players? I mean, it doesn't make sense. How do we still, and why do we still have Anderson on this team? Listen, again, I love what he's done for our franchise this year. Don't get me wrong. This team would have far more losses without Anderson. But you got to admit he's pitched above his head. He's never going to pitch any better than this. You have a year more of control. I would love to know what Perry got offered for him. There's no freaking way he wasn't offered anything for him. The goddamn Anderson was on ESPN's page as far as most desired pitchers in the trade deadline market. Other pitchers with lower stats who did not make the All-Star game got a lot brought back. Tanner Scott and a couple other pitchers went. Fredrickson or whoever his name is from St. Louis. Those guys got dealt for far less. Or at least for a couple good players each. You could have gotten 2 or 3 good players, and I would have been fine with that because, again, that would have been $13 million more off your cap next year, and you could have recouped 2 or 3 good players. But knowing Perry and knowing how he's a goddamn puppet, because if you heard his press conference, one-word answers, and he was clearly frustrated. He was not pushing the trades or offering the trades, I believe, that he wanted to do. It was all Artie and analytics. Artie's like, we got to get more players back. We got to get a player that we can market and do a country weekend with. I don't. This is why Angel fans are so frustrated. This is why, and listen, and I hate AM 830. You know I love AM 830 as much as I love Andrew Velasquez, a.k.a. Squid. I hate that station and everything it represents. The propaganda prime minister, PP. I actually spent over an hour listening to him. I wanted to hear his dumbass spin. Just like these other Angel podcasts that are like, well, they did a good job, and we gotta remember that Mike Trout is. I was waiting for. We got Mike Trout back here. He's coming back. That's like a free agent. That's like making a trade. No, it's not, you dipshit. Because on the very day you fail as an organization, again, because last year's trade deadline was goddamn miserable. You held on to at least 5 or 6 players that you shouldn't have this season. And what happened to Kevin Pillar? You could have traded the dude who went off tonight. And again, why are you trying to trade everybody? I'm trying to get better. A lot of these guys have already been there, done that, seen that. Let's get some new blood. But no, on a day you fail, once again, guess who's back? Back again. The injury bug bites again because Mike Trout is out again. He's saying no timetable, setback, all gray again. And then guess who decides to not be outdone? Oh, no. Number 6 can't be outdone. He's got to be like, no, fuck your headlines. You try to make this team better? Trout's trying to say he's injured again? Well, nobody rules the IL like this motherfucker. And number 6 said, I'm taking some more time off. I'm tired of playing with my 6 RBIs. Do you realize that tonight, Matt fucking Theis, who has gotten little or no gameplay all year, had 5 RBIs in one game? Again, I've been tooting this dude's horn like, man, this guy needs to be on the trade block, or they need to play Theis at first when they don't feel like Shonowell's getting it done, or they need to play Theis because they could play both. You could have literally Theis play first, give a day off or DH Shonowell and have O'Hoppe catch, or have O'Hoppe take off and DH and have Theis catch, right? But a guy who has 5 RBIs in one game tonight, nearly caught up to number 6, is pathetic. 6 RBIs on the season. That's what he has all season. And again, propaganda prime minister PP, a.k.a. Roger Lodge, everybody's favorite blind date, is out there telling you, don't worry, guys. We had a fine trade deadline. It's done and over with. He literally said, this piece of shit literally came on the radio in front of the thousands of his fans and literally said, you don't have to worry about the trade deadline anymore. It's over with. We made that trade with Garcia and Estevez, and now we move on. Toxic positivity. I repeat, toxic positivity. And the honks were just honking their honks. But you know what? Not really. We don't know the pulse of the honks, and that's why they always win. See, you on here can voice your opinion on this page. You can go to the Halo Brothers. You can go on X. You can go to Sam Blum. You can go to anything that covers the Angels who actually listens or replies to your comments and voice your distaste with this franchise. Voice your frustration as a fan. Knowing the fact that, again, they missed the ball again. And again, they're trying to shove positivity up your ass and say, hey, come out to the ballpark. We have Japanese Appreciation Day coming up. We have Irish Appreciation Day. Don't forget to get your bobble or your rally monkey puppet. Shove your hand up its butt. It is beyond me that you just. I'm not talking about Roger Lodge trying to get him to smash this team. He will never do that, and I get it. They work for the man. They work for the Führer. They have an agenda. I get it. However, as Angel fans, you owe us, you motherfuckers. You owe us some truth. At least come out and say, you know what, it wasn't the best trade deadline. See, that I'm not ripping the team. I'm not ripping a person. I'm just saying, and that could be them. If I'm on the radio and I got to stick to AM 830 and still pump the team, I'd be like, you know, we could have did this better. This team is very frustrating right now because and I've heard other networks, I've heard other teams say stuff like that. They don't go and say the stuff that we do, shitting on guys if they piss you off like me, like I'm ragging on Taylor Ward and other players like that. Okay, fine. You don't want to go that far, but at least have a middle ground. Don't just tell me everything's fine. Don't just tell me turn the page and forget about it. Literally telling you 3 times in 1 hour, don't worry about it. The trade deadline's over. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Basically, he's got those spinning eyes and he's looking into yours, trying to mesmerize you like freaking Medusa to get you to just turn into a pillar of salt or turn into a mindless zombie and follow what he says. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, the spin that comes from that piece of shit organization that we love. That's the worst part about it, because it's not the part that we hate is the part that's in charge. We don't hate the players. Maybe we have our favorites and we have our dislikes. Fine. You know, but we love this team. We grew up with this team. We watch this team. We invest in this team. We take our families to see this team, and that's fine. But we hate who's in charge. We hate the Führer. We hate the fact that it's a dictatorship. We hate the fact that, again, if it makes sense, the Angels do the fucking opposite. While everyone, pundits, national reporters, everyone on the outside's like, the Angels are going to be big players. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to trade. They're going to do that. And again, we get our hopes up because we don't listen to the propaganda prime minister and we actually think outside the box. And we're like, maybe this is a fucking time where they do something right. Maybe this is a time where they throw their chips in and say, we got to give up on what we did before. It's not working. Move on, right? That's the kind of move on we want. But guess what happens? The opposite. It never works in the fans' favor. Has it worked under Artie Moreno for your favor and mine? No. But Todd, he lowered the beer prices years ago. Oh, but Todd, he has monster trucks and he has Star Wars night and Kip Moore. And oh, don't forget about Throwback Week. It's all promotions to keep you guys to keep coming to the games. It's all promotions for you to forget about what's actually the dirt piece of shit that's on the field. We've all been sucked in because we do love this team. We want the young kids to flourish. But again, you're not helping the young kids to flourish. Do you think tonight's move by not moving Strickland is helping a young kid to flourish? Oh, I don't know. Ben Joyce, who should be closing. He threw 6 pitches in the 8th inning. He's got a scoreless streak going. But no, we're going to hold on to a veteran whose expired contract will get us nothing. Does that make any sense? Just that one move right there is telling you you're still holding back your young kids. Does not make a lick of sense. And then when you have holes and you have struggles like Moniak, where the fuck's Pilar? Oh, we cannot gonna play him or move him, right? Pilar's been sitting there dying to be moved. We're wasting his talent his last year. All I heard from Fox and ESPN and MLB Network. Hey, I think Pilar's going to be a hot commodity. He's going to be a nice bench player for another team, or he's going to be a fill-in starter, or he blah, 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 right? Atlanta really needs another outfielder right now, right? So they get Soler, but there's other teams who still need an outfielder. Pilar's sitting right there. Angels are probably asking for like 6 guys for Pilar. Just take the 1-for-1 and let him go on. We owe him. We owe him for the shit that he's done good this year, for the mentoring he's done to our players. We owe him something good. And that would rub off because a guy like Pilar's honorable, and he would tell other players, hey, you know what? I didn't have to get traded, but the Angels traded me so that I could have a chance at a ring in my final year, and I think it's a destination to go. Perry's a good guy, blah, 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 right? Nope. Even if that were the case, that's not happening now. Now we're a team that holds back on players or who releases them after we trade for them like we did last year to save some money. It's a joke. It is a joke, and I am guilty of one thing, people, of actually having faith that something would change. And if I had any faith that this team could win despite the furor, it's long gone now. You could have rebuilt this team in one fell swoop if you did it right. You really could. I have never been so frustrated in my life. I thought last year was the most frustrating, hellish year as an Angel fan. And I am on the tarp right now at WrestleMania as my created wrestler name Sabotage that I would use in video games all throughout my childhood growing up. Yes, Sabotage. And I'm in the ring versus Artie Moreno, the Führer. And he's got me in a figure 4 leg lock, if you know what that move is. And I'm like this with my hand on the mat, ready to tap out. I'm ready to tap out this season. I don't want to. I owe you. I owe everybody. I want to be a part of this. I want to continue this. But I'm telling you, this one hurt today. This one hurt today. There was news on all these guys that could have gotten us a nice comeback as far as players filling out the roster, the future. And you could have looked at next year as, man, this is truly the youth movement. This is truly guys who are going to take the next step. And it would have been so much fun. And I have a feeling this is just a reload as we lose money. And we're going to come back with number 6 next year. As stupid as that sounds, we're going to come back with number 6 as our starting third baseman. We're going to come back with Mike Trout patrolling the outfield, getting hurt again, instead of losing weight, slimming down, and playing DH. You watch. Now I'm going to throw that out there in the universe for it to prove me wrong. But that's how it feels. It feels so dejecting, man. Because what are we going to do next year? Are we going to be in the same spot to where Anderson is on the trade block again, but now on an expiring contract, and it's going to be like Shohei Ohtani, not to the ramifications or the height of Shohei Ohtani as far as, hey, the Angels could have got 7 players for him at one point 2 seasons before that. And then they could have got 6 players the last season. There's just no way he's going to pull in 4 or 5 guys. But he could have pulled you in at least 2 really good players. 2 really good players. 2 top 10 type of guys in an organization. And I'm not talking about pitchers, hitters, because that's what this franchise needs. But no. I'm so dejected tonight. So I'm going to blaze through the game tonight. Angels fell down 2-0. Tied it up at 2-2. Ward singled, Shonawell and Renifo scored. Oh, here he comes again. Here comes Ward. Then our boy Canning, tried to pitch the game away. It was 6-2. Looked like the game was over, but then Theis, dude, would come through, driving in the big dong and Neto, and it was 6-4. Then Ward did his I'm still here type thing, singled in a run, 6-5. And then Theis would single in 2 runs to give them the lead. Tovar would homer, their only star there in Colorado. Then Adele hit a moonshot to give him the lead. Neto sacrificed a run in on a bunt on a suicide squeeze. And it was 9-7, and then Theis singled in Pilar. It was 10-7. So there you have it. A 10-7 win. And once again, Canning gave up 6 runs on 6 hits, 6 strikeouts. He had the Satan lineup tonight. 64 pitches were strikes out of 97. His ERA's at 5.25. He's bottomed out a little bit. Quijada came in, gave up a run, but that was it. Then it was Joyce and Strickland who just put up absolute zeros. They threw a combined 15 pitches in that final 2 innings to knock it out. Colorado is just Colorado. They're a 4A team, dude. They have been for a long, long time. I mean, I'm frustrated to be an Angels fan for a decade. I can't imagine being a Rockies fan. I just can't imagine. That's an even prettier ballpark than the Angels, and they just, you can't get anything going up there. I mean, I can't imagine being a Rockies fan. That has got to suck. Golden Stamos. The John Stamos Award goes to, and first off, before I give the Player of the Game award, I'm gonna say this. And this is another reason why I hate Taylor Ward. So a lot of people say, "Hey, you're hating on him. He went 2 for 5 tonight with 3 RBIs." Oh yeah? How about them strikeouts? Guess who got the hat trick after knocking in 3 runs? Yep, dumbass Dumbo Ward. 3 strikeouts. So he matched his RBI total with. So again, he may have come through with that 2-run single. He may have come through with that single to scoring a run. That's great. And again, we love production. And again, that's a good night right there. But you still found a way to say, you know what? I still suck, and had 3 strikeouts. How do you do that? Only Taylor Ward can tell you. So Taylor Ward's not our Player of the Game. It's dude with a career high 5 RBIs. And again, you have a guy that you're paying $38 million who has no home runs and 6 RBIs, right? Matt Theis in barely any kind of playing time at all this season. He has, I think it's 9 RBIs, or no, he has 11 RBIs now. In barely any playing time. And that's without being injured. That should tell you how pathetic number 6 is. Nacho night.
I love the nachos, gas station nachos. I love those nachos, yeah. Gas station nachos, ow.
Griffin Canning once had a goatee and pitched better with a goatee. He now moved into a porn star a mustache, and that sucked. And then he shaved it, I believe. He's been terrible. Again, he had the Satan thing with 6 runs, 6 hits, and 6 innings. He sucked tonight, plain and simple. So he gets the Nacho Night Award. Let's give out the Golden Dong, who was the strongest and stiffest competition in the box or hardest pitcher to hit.
It's a big Calhoun, the Golden Dong, for the player who stood out all day long. Stiffest competition on the field, halos in the infield, who's finna be revealed?
You know what? Just for the hell of it, because I'm in a bad mood or a somber mood, I'm going to give it to the Big Dong. I'm going to give him his own award. I'm going to give him his own golden, replica of his manhood. As I'll give it to Willie Calhoun. He had 1 hit and 3 at bats. You're like, how is that the hardest pitcher or hardest hitter to face tonight or whatever, right? He had 2 walks. So he was on. He scored some runs, and he did a good job tonight. So, I like what he did. I could also give to Louis Renifo, who had 3 hits, who should be traded or extended. I think he's the only one that validates holding on to. I think the rest of the guys should have been traded. Again, what a frustrating night. So there you have it. And we already played the Stukas, so let's just jump into it, shall we? We have a ton of comments to get to, and we're going to get to all of them. And you can voice your opinion later on as we get through these. So first off, let's start it off with Mateo says, we won. It's a spritz. That's not a total one. There it is. Now you can blame Mr. Mateo.
It's o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast the day. Sip and cheer, no matter the score. It's o'clock, let's pour some more. It's o'clock, let's pour some more.
Now let's talk about Vetter, who says, dude, we're so back. So he already knows. James, and then Benjamin says, I've seen little to no details about the players for the Garcia trade. Were they any good? Benjamin, I will say this about Lugo. Lugo is a prime player to be up here really soon. Again, he's got 18 homers, 56 RBIs. He's a decent hitter, hits for average too. He's a guy that we can definitely use. The other players, not knowing too much about him other than the reliever, who's pretty decent. The other 2 are projects. So, but you still got 4 players for 1, which is a good trade. On an expiring contract, needless to say, Joshua says they need to send Canning down. He sucks. Chris says the dude. Dick's out, Spritz out. We already spritzed a little bit right there. Also, we won at the deadline. We're so back, Trent Rush. Also, Boo Boo says Angels win, Astros and Rangers lose. Good day. Plus the Dodgers lost. So that lead is down to 6 games. So that is awesome. Hanky Panky says keep the players and go all in for 2025. There's unfinished business. Balls, and the deadline disaster. 2nd year in a row that the deadline disaster strikes the Angels. And yes, this was terrible today. I really had faith that something was going to get done.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Deadline disaster. Also, dude, what a game. Is 5 runs a good thing? I don't know. I got so high after we scored. Manny, I mean, Ron. Anna says, what a crazy game today. The Angels won. Go Angels. Back-to-back comebacks wins. We're so back. Houston lost, so we're 8 games back out of 2nd place and still 9 games back of Seattle and 6-game winning streak against them. Jesus Christ. Is Trout learning from number 6? He sure is, and number 6 is not to be outdone. Jim says, how about the Tony Two Bags tonight? He didn't make it and make an out. Exactly. Also, Boo Boo, thank you so much for the super sticker. I love it. Appreciate it. And once again, it was nice to meet you over there at Mezzo's the other day. Tyler says, dude, Canning nearly made me have a heart attack. He was trying to blow that game big time. We win tomorrow. That's a winning streak. Comeback kids. Tyler says, Padres walk off the Raiders. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Jim says, plenty of THC for Thice HC. He's like, dude, I'm going to be so high tonight. Also, Grillmaster says, Adele sent that baseball up the Rocky Mountain Way. Rally Chris says, we have 7 games remaining against Houston, 3 games against Seattle, which we are 6-4 against the Mariners this season. So don't count our Angels out. Man, you are listening to some AM 830, Rally Chris. Either that or you're smoking whatever Thice has been banging on. Good grief. Silent E says the Dodgers lost again today, as well as the Rangers and Astros. Everything is awesome. When I saw they were down 6-2, I thought the game was over. We're so back. Maybe. Willie says, light that baby up. Saucy says, fuck it. Let's sign Anderson 5 years, $100 million. Make him completely untradeworthy forever. Might as well. The Rockies are the gave Canning a rocky start. Oh, good God. Grillmaster says, we responded with runs when we gave up runs. Q Lombardi. I agree right there. That never happened.
What the hell's going on out here?
I don't know, Vince, but whatever it did, it worked. Also, Jesus says, this is the best Angels postgame show. Keep it up, T. Fox. Thank you so much, Jesus. Mateo, and tell a friend. Hey, Perry, are you guys looking to complete the 2025? Perry says, we'll see, or compete. Yes, I saw that. Mateo. That was super cringe. I guarantee you, whatever Perry said to the media, he was forced to say what he did because Artie Moreno or he was directly reading from a script. Agreed. What do you think about Randazzo's brief explanation of why the Angels did not send many guys out? He kind of brought up in the broadcast. I didn't catch that, to be honest, Tyler. You're going to have to refresh me on that. I did not see that part of the game, or at least was not watching that part of the game. J-Dog says, of course, Bally kept saying Renifo Ward Anderson was a good thing. Yep. You have to follow a script. Todd just hates Fresno State. Confirmed. No one Jets pod. Also, the prices that the teams are giving the starting pitchers at the deadline. See Kikuchi, the Astros, Trevor Rogers to Baltimore. Massive overpays for guys who aren't that good. And that was my whole point. This was a year where you had more haves than have-nots. I mean, look, for God's sakes, the Royals are in it. The Pirates are in it. You have a lot of teams who are close, who could still be in it. And you had prime teams that were willing to give everything up, like Miami. You know, the Angels were one of the teams that were talked about. Hell, even Texas sent away a couple players. So you had teams that were ready to deal if the right players were given. And there's no doubt in my mind that there were players being, offered, but they were asking for too much. 100% spot on regarding Ward. Brett Phillips also got picked up by the Yankees as a pitcher. That's crazy. Q Lombardi, dude. Where are we going as a society?
What the hell's going on out here?
I have no idea. Brent's pitches brought to you by Phillips Television. Happy Tuesday. Hey, everyone. Daniel says, also J-Dog says, trading all the players with expiring contracts was the bare minimum, and we even failed to do that. Again, I would love for them to ask that question on why that did not happen. We got Bowman. We are so back. We are so back. We got Bowman. One Jet Spot says Rendon extension this winter. Look for it. Also, my boy Don Hammond says, Todd, why the hell did we not trade Tyler Anderson? What the fuck is Perry doing? We could have got a decent prospect haul, and we should have traded Pilar and Strickland too. Right there with those three people that you mentioned, Don, that should at least have gotten us back 6 to 7 players, because you would have gotten 3 to 4 for Anderson, and you would have got at least 1 to maybe 2 players, depending. You could have got a AAA guy for Strickland and a low 1A or high A guy, and then you could have gotten maybe a high A guy, maybe a double A guy for Pilar, and you didn't get anything. You didn't get anything. Mateo says, sir, this makes no sense. Tony C says there was no market for Tyler Anderson. There was, Tony. There was. He was on ESPN. He was on a lot of pages. There was a lot of teams checking in on him. But again, when you're being told as a general manager, when you're calling Tony, and they're saying, hey, how much for Tyler Anderson? What's that going to look like for us? What do we have to give up to get him? How much of that contract are we going to eat? Because they always ask the contract. They always ask the team that's trading a player with a contract like he has, like the remaining of this year. Can you at least pick up the remaining of this year and we'll pay next year? Something like that, so that they feel like winners when they make this trade, right? So the Angels probably were like, well, we want 2 of your, we want 2 top 20 guys in your farm. We also want a major league ready player. And you're going to have to eat all that contract. And that's probably the bare minimum that they were asking. And the other teams were like, let's go check in on Connor Jackson, or let's go check on another pitcher. Let's go check on, or Travis Connor. They weren't interested. I think the Angels priced themselves out of their own trade. Pilar deserves to end his career on a winning team. I totally agree. Tyler says, wishing a speedy recovery for number 6, recovering from his anal fissures procedure. The other teams know that Anderson has hit his peak too. It is too risky. I agree right there too, boo-boo. Maybe you and Tony are onto something. Maybe they figured that he's pitching above his head as a wily veteran. Who knows? I heard the Yankees offered Cole and $175 million. Lafayette already said, nah, we got unfinished business. Also, Perry, the puppet, shake my head. Artie does not care about this team. He doesn't, as long as it makes money. Artie's smarts are based on Kip Moore. How can we expect Perry to be a good GM if Artie didn't give him the keys to the car? I agree, and yes, I am upset. J-Dog says, not last year's deadline. Giolito was ass. Grichuk ran like he shit in his pants. Cron was injured all the time and was horrible. And that was great, too. Grichuk, you kept hearing, hey, he was drafted the same time as Mike Trout. Hey, 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 hey. And then CJ Cron, remember that guy when he was good? And nothing. Also, Dan says, hey, Mr. T, you owe 2 Stukas, slacker. Yes, I do. Anthony made a glass. Rendon strikes again. You could DH Thice and sit Dong if you want to play Ohapi. Also, Mateo says, one thing that bugged me during the broadcast is when Wayne said, how can the young guys learn without Trout playing? Oh, Wayne. Wayne! I should call you Wang because that's what you sound like. That's what you're. Oh, my God. You're just being a gigantic Wang right now. Because, dude, I mean, think about it. That's all fine and good. Mike Trout can show the guys how to hit solo homers and strike out on fastballs. But until he turns into a Mike Trout where he's on the field making plays, leading this club in RBIs and batting average and home runs, then we'll talk. But I haven't seen that Mike Trout in quite some time. Have you? Thice was beast tonight. Also, Boo Boo says Thice isn't doing any favors for Artie. I'm telling you, he could have been traded too. Balls, and incompetence. Anthony's walk-up song should be Heart of Glass by Blondie because he is offended by how the fans think of him and his general is made of glass. In general, is made of glass because of all those injuries he has had. Blood Moon says, number 6 is a cancer, and I can't believe we are paying this amount of money for this piece of shit. What? This motherfucker got hurt again. Yes, indeed. Also, Adele's homer was crushed. He has crazy pop, just needs to make contact, and the ball will go. Exactly. Fix his freaking swing already. Tyler says number 6 season stats with his pay are literally insanity. It is. He's robbing the bank. I'm calling it right now. Watch Thice won't be in the lineup tomorrow night after this night. I guarantee you, you're probably right. Mateo says they dumped Marlins dumped everybody. DFA number 6, he sucks. Also, Boo Boo Bear's mama says the word of the day is toxic positivity. They suck again. Number 6 was probably pissed we're getting a Mickey Mouse bobblehead instead of him. Well, it's basically the same thing. Rendon sitting on the couch watching this franchise go to ruin. Also, Renifo Leprechaun bobblehead night. Well, that'd be terrible. Angels front office is just like the Major League movie. Yeah, except we don't want to see Artie naked. I do tend to love shitty relationships. Yes. Also, look on the bright side. At least there still is a Bandai Namco Pac-Man races. Hey, and guess what, J-Dog? They added those 5 hats now. So it's not just 3 that you can guess where the ball's at. There's 5. That should make it interesting. Padres smack the Doyers, and the Angels win again. One Jets Pod says, we're going to need a word from Jack in the Box after this rant. We sure are. And I think, you know what? I may have it here for you. Let's see what Jack has to offer on the new menu. Because, again, I don't have the new order, but I do have this
one. Bite of my new Smash Jack is turning Jack in the Box haters into believers. Don't be a hater. Try my new Smash Jack. Man, I'm good.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
No Drury Lane in the lineup, Stukas, baby. And he asked for it, and I do owe you guys and gals one because I wasn't here on Sunday. So, you know what? All right, so that's why I don't go to Angel games. Jesus says I'd rather go to 66ers, support those young guys. And that's a nice stadium. Also, why does Ron Washington do everything in his power to have Ben Joyce not close? I don't think that's totally all him, but maybe he doesn't feel that he's ready. I think he's ready. I mean, I really do. Remember when Thice had a great game? That was tonight. Tyler says, did you hear Randazzo's new bit? 3 RBIs for Ward and 4 wheels with Honda. Oh, my God. I guess when you have to go to that many commercials in one broadcast, you have to come up with some interesting segues. Happy 10th anniversary to Pilar. Have fun sitting on the bench and watching Moniak and Adele play before you and not get traded somewhere that is a respectable team. I agree. Happy anniversary indeed. Poor motherfucker. Willie says, who's getting run through waivers? Boy, there's going to be a lot. I tried telling you, one Jets pod said, yep, I got my hopes up, man. Artie doesn't want any player to succeed. Also, DJ says, just tuned in. What is Rendon's injury this time? This time it is his vagina. No, it's his lower back. So basically, he's having, what is it called? He's having the precursors. He's having the the menstrual pains. So he's having cramping. He's going to be out for a week at least. Hi, I'm Trent Rush. Welcome to the Angels podcast. Tonight we discuss the Dodgers, who are the best team in the world, even though they lost to some team named the Padres tonight. I'm Trent Rush. Sabalodge. Hey. Fuck the Doyers. Aha. Alex says, also, me too. I hear you. Artie doesn't give a fuck. Also, Tony C says, I'm sure glad that we did not get Dave Dombrowski 2 years ago. Laugh out loud. Also, this team is a broken record. They sure are. Let's see. Also, same point. Tyler says, Artie's got Todd pinned like Boo Boo got grilled the other night. Oh, jeez. 714 says, this team is so depressing even when they win. I'm sorry I made it that way tonight, guys and gals. 5 to 10 years till Artie. No, don't say that. Again, as much as we hate the guy, I don't wish death upon anybody. And so I just wish he'd sell the damn team. I wish his family would talk him out of keeping the team. I tuned out after Ohtani left. Let's see. Willie says, I saw an article a week ago that Artie perfected to keep Anderson or professed to keep Anderson Renifo Ward because he has control through 26. That makes sense. I said I would lose my shit if we did not trade Anderson, and all day I've been truly upset by that. I lost my shit, Silent E says. The Dodgers, Rangers, and Astros just helped me out to be not so pissed about the deadline. Watch Ward go 0 for 12 against the Mets. I do see that as well. The Rockies owner is Dick Mumford. I think he's the first name sums up who he is. Fun fact, he has said that he would be satisfied if the Rockies played 500 ball at home. Well, you have to put some sort of team right there. He would love Willie Calhoun. Also, Andrew Rivas says, light that baby up, I guess. Man, this never fails to let us down. Absolutely frustrating. Exactly. Also, Mateo says, can I just say, it was a good game for the Angels because they had aggressive base running and small ball. You watch them go back to literally none of that. We won despite Patio being part of the broadcast. Halos 310 says Angels literally did fucking nothing. Exactly. Adele Homer, Q Bally's. Oh, yeah, they were like, hey, this game is tied right now, and we need a home run right now. What's the exit velocity right here? Oh, my God, that's hit really far. Then Wayne is like, and Adele hits the home run as he's coming around the bases. The Angels regain the lead. Hey, I tell you, Wayne, that was an exit velocity of 101.26 miles per hour plus the the launch angle is 8.6. Nobody cares. But right away, dude, I mean, he's like fumbling through papers and whatever he has to do, looking up online. What's the launch angle? What's launch angle? Exit velocity. We're so pathetic. That's what it should say. Eric says, hey, yo. Also, what was the exit velocity on the puppet opening his mouth, Wayne? Jackie says, as sad as a trade deadline this season has been, there's a group of kids that gave me hope for the future. I agree. Perry about to get DFA'd. And then what? Then we have a new general manager looking to fire Ron Washington at the first chance. Never have faith in this front office, bro. I'm right there with you. Where does Lugo rank in our farm? I think Lugo's going to probably be number 2 because I think you have to give it to Moore right now just because of his sheer talent and what he has between the ears. But I think Lugo's got to be number 2 now. Halos Forever says, who would you like to see traded and for who? Halos aren't going anywhere this year. We picked up 4 for 1. Let the kids play. Well, again, it's not really about who. It's about the position players we could have gotten. It's, you could throw names out there all day, but you should have at least picked up bodies, and you should have just realized, hey, we can get guys under control for longer periods of time. Yes, they're not stars, but that's what free agency is there for. You get cheap at one side and then reload, with whatever can't make the talent. Like I said before, you have the infield. You have the catcher. The only things you would need to go into free agency next year is for 4 positions. Left field, center field, right field. Outfielders are a dime a dozen, and then the 4th position would be one more starting pitcher. A legit, this time, starting pitcher. That's all you would need. The rest, everything is spelled out there for you. But no, we can't do that. And then you would have had a back-ended minor league system that can actually cook and actually get better with time, and you don't have to rally those guys up for every little thing. You don't need to spend $200 to $300 million on each outfield position. You can get your Jorge Solers. You can get guys who can scare you and score and get hits. You don't have to spend a gang of money for these outfielders. You just don't. The outfield market is gone down recently, and unless you're like a superstar like Aaron Judge or someone, but we don't need those type of players. You really don't. You need contact guys who are high-end walks, on base percentage guys. You don't need to be going out there getting guys, he has a launch angle. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Get guys who are reliable, who are healthy, and who can just get on base. I don't care if look, you give me an outfielder like an Orlando Palmeiro back in the day, or a freaking Myceris Turris, who I know he's an infielder, but just say if he had numbers like that. If you're giving me an outfielder that plays 150 to 152 games a year, or 146 to 156 games a year, and that set outfielder hits only 3 to 4 home runs and maybe drives in 47 to 50 RBIs, but he has 25, 35 stolen bases. He has a batting average of 280, 290. I want that. I don't need a guy hitting 47 home runs, driving in 80 RBIs, batting 191. I don't need that. I need a guy who can constantly pressure the opponent. I need that player to be getting on base. I don't need that player to be striking out every other time. Now, my entire outfield can't be filled with guys with 4 home runs, but I can deal with a center fielder with 4 home runs. I can deal with another left fielder with 14 to 15 home runs, but he's got an average of 275. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever we're doing right now ain't working. So I'll show you something different, and I'll give you better results. Let me run this fucking team. Rally Chris says, I think maybe having too much sex with a sample. Why is that so funny to me? Number 6. He must really appreciate us talking about him like that, and he's so Christian. I'm so sorry about that part of it, though. Timber 20 says, Gooby was saying it's hard to trade guys because they're family. All of a sudden, it's a family. Oh, come on, Gooby. Just because they said they liked Pearl Jam or they like Led Zeppelin, one of your favorite bands in Gooby Tuesday, doesn't make them family. It's a business. If that were the case, we'd have more guys who can't hit their weight, who are here just because they're nice and the front office likes them. Pilar is retiring too, right? He could have went out a winner. Yes, Lakers fan in Japan. He should have. Also, Anderson, we will hold on to him until next year. Let him walk for nothing. Let's see. I really thought Anderson was going to go back to the Dodgers until I saw they got Jack Flaherty. Well, they did check in on him. I can assure you that. But there's 2 things. The Angels don't do what the Brewers and Reds did, which is trade into divisions. So you would never see the Angels trade with the A's, Astros, Rangers, or the Mariners. That never has happened. Tell me the last time that's happened, because it hasn't. And the Dodgers and Angels have only made 1 trade, and that was so bitter on our owner that he said the next time they would try to make a trade, he would nix it, and he did when we could have had Ross Stripling and I forget the other player. Breaking news, Grillmaster says Rendon broke his water again. Honestly, just shut down Trout for the season. I agree. Jake checks in with, yes, Pilar is retiring. There is no need to keep him. There was no need. Also, off with his Wayne. Only good thing about the last deadline was Moose and Ronaldo Lopez. One got DFA'd and the other one is out the league, which is sad. Also, final Deo count tonight is 17. Wow, they ramped it up to 17. So you got a bunch of these. Yeah. 5 hats now. No way. How will I ever guess where the ball is? You really got to check that out, man. It's awesome. Todd ranting, and now a word from Honda. Lakers fan says Renico fugitive bobblehead night, him wearing a black eye mask. Yes, that I would buy that one right there. Can't say the word Honda. No, I can't. Also, Angels is a house of horrors. IE says, I suppose this win will ease the fact that this fucking team did absolutely nothing to trade off some pieces. So fuck Artie, Porky, Perry. Also, Lakers fan says, how come I can't be off on paid vacation with self-diagnosed injury? I don't know. I mean, I would love to tell my employer, hey, you have to pay me full benefits. I just don't feel right. I'm going to be off for 3 months. Also, go to watch the Dodgers lose tonight against got to watch the Dodgers lose to the Padres. It was the best to have those assholes lose in front of my wife. Also, I forgot Chris Bryant is with the Rockies. Well, he forgot he's with the Rockies as well. Joshua says, how about those Bees 11-game win streak? Yeah. Believe it or not, Salt Lake is one of the hottest minor league teams right now, and not too far behind them in AA, you got was the Rocket City doing it. I caught a ball tonight, and Hunter Strickland signed it. JT says the last time I caught a ball and got it signed, it was the last playoff game. Wow, that's a long time ago, JT. We haven't heard from Big 20 in a while. I think Marsha finally got to him. Yeah, I haven't heard from him. That's true. Also, I'm telling you, this has been a cursed team ever since Morales broke his ankle at home plate. I agree. Hey, Trout, congrats on the sex, all of us. JT says the Angels are 2-1 in games that I've been at this year. Well, that's better than what my record is. I think I've been to now, I want to say 20 games, and I'm 8-12. Terrible. I'm actually catching up on wins, though. I was worse than that. I used to think Juan Rivera was really bad, but after seeing what we've had to deal with, Rivera was pretty decent. Exactly, Willie. Juan Rivera was a guy that got you 20 home runs, 63 RBIs, and I believe a batting average of 265. And he could walk every now and then. Now, again, was he the best outfielder as far as defense? Hell no. Did he throw a guy out luckily every now and then? Yeah. But yes, he would be our top outfielder. Let's just say that if we had him now. It was 2019 when we tried to get Stripling and Jock Peterson. There's the other guy. Thank you, guys. Also, Todd, add a new record or record thing to your soundboard of how many Deos if we break a record. Yeah, I think we have to try to do that as well. Also, Halos Forever says they thought that about Trout and number 6, and they still have to pay them $35 million a piece, and now we're stuck. 60% of the payroll belongs to them. Chubb says, yo, Todd, heading to the game on Thursday. First game since 2022. What's the deal with Noble L Works you guys do? Need a pregame spot. Well, Chubbs, if anything, go over there, park for free, and walk to the stadium. That's your number one thing you want to do once you go to Noble. But if you're entering the establishment for a pregame spot, just say Halos in the infield and get your 15% off of any alcoholic beverage. I think, yeah, it's 15% off. And then also they have drink specials during the game. I think they're like, buy one or the 2 for 1 or something like that. I forget the ones during the game. But basically, if you stay there, you get drink specials there too. And then also, like I said, before and after the game, they give the 15%. And the parking's for free. So Tyler says, Pilar just looking forward to tending to his goats. Yeah, he finds that more exciting than tending to the players here. Mateo says, when I broke my ankle, I barely got workers' compensation. Well, yeah, you should be an athlete. That's where it pays off. The Salt Lake Beaks are, winning. Cue our boy Charlie Sheen. Yeah, let's see. Where is that soundbite? I kind of moved that one around right now. Well, they were like this. Oh, no.
Wow, winning.
Yeah, they were this before.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Anthony says, Artie now just gets the money on the Tyler Anderson 2024 bobblehead night. Oh, yeah, that's coming, Anthony. You called it. You freaking called it. Watch next year. He's already ordering them from China as we speak. Willie says number 6 is the worst contract signing. He's going to have a 30 for 30 documentary. Yes, I saw that comment you said earlier on the trade deadline. Forgot to bring it up, but you're absolutely right. That has to – I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear any Angel fan, Halo honk, or anything come out here and try to tell me that Albert Pujols' contract was worse. No way. No way, because at least – Pujols with plantar fasciitis and everything else and his lame-ass double plays tried every night and did contribute to this team. So I don't want to hear anything about them saying that Pujols was it a bad contract in hindsight? Of course. Was it anywhere close to the disaster that the Titanic of a contract that number 6 has brought this organization? Hell no. Number 6 is on a new level. If you thought the blind date level at Anaheim Stadium was high and was in the 600s and it was very hard to see the players, the level of number 6 is God. It's almost like in the heavens. That's how high. That's the length between the bad contracts. I mean, it's not even close. Hey, James, that's the Angels record for 5 or more runs by a catcher. Shut up. The White Sox have lost 16 straight games right now. The entire White Sox franchise is terrible. You realize they have still 27 wins. There have been teams, I believe, that have won 27 by at least like May 10th of the season. And you're talking about the White Sox have only 27 wins in essentially August and don't look like they're going to win anything anytime soon. That could be the worst team ever. It was supposed to be Louis Renifo for Jock Peterson and Stripling. Yes, William. And we got randazzled on that one. Chubb says excited for Thursday, but going on Friday where they're definitely getting stomped out by the Mets. You can't, Chubbs, I appreciate you being excited, but you can't be excited about this team. Phone calls tonight. Yeah, why not? 714-598-3221. 714-598-3221. How come Kana Dana looks a lot like Noah Syndergaard? I have no idea, but if he pitches better than Noah Syndergaard, I'd appreciate that much more. I think he could be a real good pitcher moving forward. I was just asking James to see what our record was. Oh, when we score 5 or more runs. Oh, there you go. My bad, Mateo. I thought you were talking about them bragging about Theis with his 5 RBIs. I haven't gone back to it since the All-Star break, but I know we were 29-16 prior to that. But again, you're talking about a team that if you can score 5 or more runs, you're talking about at minimum you're 13 games over 500. If you were, again, you can't do that all year. But if you're doing that more often than not, so you're doing that at about a 70% clip or something like that, the Angels should be in a better position playoff-wise. But again, if you can't muster that up, you're never going to be anywhere good. I mean, you're always going to suck if you're scoring 2 to 3 runs. You're always going to put the pressure on your pitching. You're going to need phenomenal pitching performances just to stay into games. So it's not worth it right there. I think this team needs to score more runs, and they just haven't done it. So with that being said, let's see. Chubb says, I'm excited to give Artie my money. Also, so he can not invest in the farm system or anything else. Comparing Dana to Syndergaard makes me Thor just thinking about it. Oh, God, here we go with that again. You were just looking to use that, weren't you? Okay, so let me just get into the scores for tonight, and we'll wait for a phone call. If we get one, we get one. If we don't, we don't. The shit fucks win again. They win 5-0 over the Tigers. They are 65-42. They got better in the trade deadline. Orioles go to 6. They win 6-2 over the Blue Jays. They are now 20 games over 500. Also, the Yankees defeat the Phillies in a good series right there, 7-6. Teams have almost identical records. The Marlins can lose to the Rays 9-3. You had the Reds over the Cubs 6-3. You had the Mets over the Twins. And look, the Cubs are a little weird to me because they made that trade to kind of get better, but they're a team that's falling out of the wayside. And then the Twins really, all they did, for a team that's in second place, leading the wild card, is basically just pick up a relief pitcher. I mean, that team puzzles me big time. And I don't know too many of the Twins players, really haven't followed them, haven't had to talk about them since early on in the season. And it's a little shocking they did absolutely nothing. But the Mets stay red hot. The Mariners defeat the Red Sox, so maybe that offensive help between getting Arozarena and Turner is paying off. The Rangers lose again. And you want to talk about a team that had a 2002-like run winning their World Series last year and now are having a 2003-like Angels run in their following year after the World Series. Because if you remember, that 2003 team was just like, hey, run it back. No trades need to be made. Run it back. They lost. They didn't add anything, and all those guys who had great seasons did what guys who play over their heads do the following season, come down to earth a little bit. And they had nothing for buffers to help that team continue, and the Angels suffered. And I think the Rangers are doing the same thing this year, and they wave the white flag. Braves over the Brewers 5-1. You had the Royals continuing to win, and again, the White Sox lose again. They're 17-39 at home, 27-83. They could hit 100 losses, and they should, at this rate, hit 100 losses by the end of August, or at least close to the end of August. So we could be talking about a team that could potentially lose between 110 and 120 this year. Maybe more. I mean, that's bad. You had the Pirates defeat the Astros 6-2. They made, again, a couple nice trades today to bolster what their true weakness is. I think the Pirates are one of the winners in the trade deadline. They are only 2 games back of the last wild card, and their pitching's been outstanding. Their hitting's been a little bit bad. There's a lot of games where they do the Angels kind of scoring, only score 3 or less, and they could win those games because they have far better pitching, but they're barely losing, right? So you get 2 big bats in there, and you kind of try to mix things up, and I think that's going to help the Pirates. Your Angels win 10-7, as we talked about. The Raiders lose to the Padres in extra innings, blowing a lead right there, 6-5. That division's getting close. Diamondbacks beat the Nationals on the scoring of 2 touchdowns and a field goal, 17-0. And then you had the Athletics beating the Giants 5-2 in your final game of the night. So let's see. Back in 1996, Charlie Sheen brought over 2,500 tickets in left field at Angel Stadium in hopes of snagging a home run. I forgot about that, and he didn't get one. Also, Kodai Senga of the Mets is out for this year. Okay, Andrew Rivas says if Anderson does well for the rest of the regular season, they have to trade him in the offseason, right? Right? I don't know. You would think yes. The logical way to do things would be yes. But knowing Artie, unfinished business, that guy can anchor this lineup. I'm beyond frustrated, people. Beyond frustrated. Game 1 is Tyler Miguel, Miguel, whatever his name is, 2 and 5 with a 5.2 ERA. Game 2 is David Peterson, 5-1 with a 3.52 ERA. And game 3, former Angel Jose Quintana versus Anderson Soriano to pitch for the Halos. Excellent. It's the Halo Honk line.
I want to complain about this team.
Well, then go on ahead.
This is probably the worst that I've experienced in quite some time, and Artie and Perry are both utter trash.
I agree. How did the deadline make you really feel? I mean, because what would you have done at minimum?
For me, the minimum was Pilar, Strickland, and Anderson. Minimum.
Yep. I mean, look, I like what they got in those two trades, but that should have been plus what you just said.
Yeah, no doubt. The two trades that they made were good prospects, good results, but I mean, we're trash. We need a lot more than 6 prospects.
Yep. Yep. I mean, you could have literally rebuilt your farm system, got free agents in for next season, and I'm not saying this team would have contended, but you could have had a decent product on the field with guys on the, knocking on the door to come back or come in.
100% agree. It's just funny that all these people who are defending Artie when he's done the same thing over the last 15 years and had the same results, and they're like, oh, he's still a great owner.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I've as an Angels fan, I've seen other owners with other teams, and you can even look at what's going on in Oakland, and you're just like, man, I'm glad we have an established owner. But as the years have gone by, I mean, you could see what this guy's really made of. You could see the dumb decisions that he makes, even when he does, quote unquote, try to make us better. It's the writing's on the wall. I mean, he's got to go. He's just got to go.
Well, he's trying to run the same playbook that he ran 20 years ago that hasn't worked in 15 years. It's like, hey, this worked in the past. Let's do it again. Doesn't matter, it hasn't worked recently.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is too, I mean, we've seen it too, where, Manfred would look at other organizations and be like, this is not good for baseball. And for some reason, like, this guy continues to get a pass. And because if we're claiming the LA market's not supposed to suck like this for this long, and basically that's what we are. I mean, we're the Clippers right now that they used to be when they played at the sports arena.
Well, the difference that they even say is that the Clippers haven't had superstars. We've had superstars. We don't know how to surround them with talent. We sign injury-prone old guys and expect it to work and continue, like all the people's takes of continuing to not spend money on the farm system and wonder why we always have to rush up Shonawell and Neto and Ohapi and all these young guys that they should have been able to sit in the minor leagues for a year or two and not have to play right away.
Yeah, because then you wouldn't have had these, I mean, you're always going to have growing pains with these guys coming up through the minors, like you said, when they get to the majors, but it's not supposed to be prolonged, and we're not supposed to be like giving them guys motivation to keep it going because it's frustrating on a high level. We shouldn't be putting pressure on these guys, but we are. Like you said, they're not able to marinate down there, fine-tune their game, and come up here and ball out. It's just like, hurry up and get up here. Like, that's why I think Moore is going to be on the team next year.
Oh, 100%. Like, it's funny, like, whenever I watch MLB Network, like, it's a running joke, but it's not a joke on when they look at who the Angels are drafting. They're like, okay, he's going to be the first player in the draft to reach the major leagues. Because it's not a joke anymore. It's dead serious because they're so desperate for any type of talent because they won't rebuild. I mean, that's the thing that's like, I'm like you, where like, I'm an Angels fan, but like today made me really question, do I want to stay with this team? Because I grew up in San Diego. Like, I'll switch my allegiance to be a Padre fan, but like, no, I have to stay with this team, even though they won't rebuild and they continue to do the same thing and waste young guys.
Yeah. And see, and like, where do you live right now? If you don't mind me asking.
Seal Beach.
Okay. Seal Beach. So you're in that area where there's that middle ground, that kind of like a border of Padre fans and Angel fans. And it's always been like that where, the Padres make the playoffs. Angel fans kind of like be like, oh, that's my team to follow in the playoffs. Not, switch allegiances, but hey, if I got to root for someone, I'll root for them. And Padre fans used to do that when they were hopelessly out of the playoffs and the Angels were on that run of making the postseason and being good, winning divisions. And it's been that give and take. And I've heard that what you just said by so many Angel fans, because it does suck, because it's like you're looking outside your window, seeing the cool kids playing outside past past the lights out, and you're stuck inside and you can't go out. And I think that's how the Angels fans are feeling, because man, they are an exciting team, no matter the stuff they've been going through organizational wise. But they're not afraid to spend. They're not afraid to try to draft good. They have a good talent in the minors and on the major league roster. Cool unis, nice stadium. It's easy to be like, maybe I need to sneak over there, jump the fence and go to the Padres. I get you, bro. I totally get you. And I know where your allegiance is too. It's always a thought, but you're like, can't do it this time.
Well, what's weird is like today, I went into today like super excited. I'm like, okay, dude, if we trade Rengifo, Ward, Anderson, like I'm going down the line, Strickland, Pilar. I'm like, there's a real shot. If they trade well, we could have a top 10, well, maybe not top 10, but a top 15 farm system in one day. And then like as the day went on, I'm like, I could just feel it. Nope, they're not going to do anything. And then like I was like, through the course of the day, I was like, well, at least they'll sell Pilar and Strickland with Garcia. And then that didn't happen. I was like, I couldn't imagine this day going worse than what it did. It's pretty close to the worst that I would have imagined.
I'm right there with you. I mean, we were doing the show earlier today, and I was fully expecting something to go down in the first hour that we did it. In fact, Fernando hit me up and said, I have a feeling this morning they might actually pull a trade off before we go on. And I'm like, oh, hopefully they not. Hopefully those moves happen while we're on and we can react live. And yeah, I mean, it didn't happen. It was just a kick in the crotch again, dude. I mean, and by the way, I didn't even ask your name, man. It's a good call. What's your name?
Cameron.
Okay, cool. Nice to talk to you, Cameron. Dude, like I said, I feel your frustration, bro. And it's like a lot of the ones that are on the chat and have been hitting us up online too. It's just a frustrating day to be an Angels fan. Again, I thought last year was the absolute rock bottom, and it got worse this year.
We didn't think that could be worse, but boy, were we wrong.
Absolutely. Well, Cameron,
all right, man. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Same here, man. Great call. Call in whenever you want, man.
All right, man. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir. All right, that's Cameron from Seal Beach. Great call. I think and again, you guys are hard on the callers, and when you guys say it's a good call, it was a good call. So I appreciate that as well. He came with it, and I think what the thing about Cameron's call is you could feel his frustration. You can feel that's a real fan. That is, if you really want to know, if Artie even gave two shits about any of us, hearing Cameron's call basically for me would sum it up. It would sum up the fact that, this is a lifelong Angel fan. This is a fan that, probably puts up with some of his friends cracking on him because the Angels have been so bad. He experienced the good times, wants it to come back, knows that, this isn't rocket science, and for everything to be on the books or out in the open, the internet showing who makes how much money, what organization puts what money into what part of the organization, we basically can see the entire thing. It's it's sort of like, it's just right there for you in a crystal ball. You can see exactly what's going on with the Angels organization and what they need to do to get to the places where these other franchises are at. And I think if you're, Cameron, who sees that, or myself or you, and we've all had our theories, maybe not all of them are the same, but we do know, hey, this guy's got to move for this to happen. This guy's got to move, and this guy's got to move, and this guy's got to move so that we can be better. And we all can agree on that. And the organization who should be on top of it, smarter than us, should not have to listen to the fans bitching and moaning about things when they don't go that way, or the hindsight being what it is and us telling them what a stupid day this was when it could have been so much better. That should not be the case. They should know that they need to move these guys. They should know that this should happen. So whether it's the analytics, whether it's Arnie, whether it's even Perry at this point, who knows? But I do know Perry was bitter for being someone that supposedly won the day. But Angel fans aren't stupid. We aren't. And we can see the writing was on the wall to do the things that they had to do, and they didn't do them. And it's one thing if Cameron is complaining about this season, or I'm complaining about this season, and maybe the last 3 seasons have been pretty good and they've been building towards something. And yes, they just fucked up this year. Okay, we'll get them next year, as they like to say. But it's not what it is. It's been just a clusterfuck of continuous just not getting the job done, not doing the right thing. And like he said, we're not willing to rebuild, and that's never going to help. At some point, I mean, look, the NFL is a different monster, I know. But even in the NBA, you can't keep things going. In hockey as well. You have to, at some point, say, okay, we've hit our limit with the cast of characters that we have, with the players that we have in development. It's time. It's time to move some veterans. It's time to hit the reset button and try to get better and get on a 3-year plan to get back to the top. You have to do that. I don't care what sport you're in. You cannot continue to just keep saying, got to reload. Because even the Yankees have had some down years where they just had to play through their guys. They've had to make trades, savvy ones, to restock that minor league system, and then they're giving their minor league system time to go as they hire free agents to fill the void, to let those players marinate. And when it comes to that time, they could then move those veterans and still have really good talent come up and take the next step. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. There's many of teams who've laid out the groundwork of how to do it. And there's different variations. You can have a 5-year plan. You could have a 3-year plan. Hell, you could have a 7-year plan. Or I've even seen it flipped in 2 years. But to do what we're doing, that's not good. We're basically going to run back this and I can't sit here and tell you with a shred of honesty in my heart and in my words to you that this team is going to pull the right triggers in free agency as far as picking up the right players to fill the voids. I'm not even sure they're going to attempt to fill the voids. We could see, Jordan Adams starting next year. Really? Jordan Adams hasn't shown you anything to even be a 4th outfielder at this point, but it would not shock me one bit if Jordan Adams is standing right next to Mike Trout, who also shouldn't be in the outfield next year come 2025. That's my biggest concern. So, what a night, huh? What a night to be an Angels fan. It's a down night, man. It's a tough one tonight. So, I'm gonna leave it there. It's been a great night. No other calls come in. So, but the one call was a home run. I appreciate that. A lot to think about. And I will echo what Mateo said, which is, hey, we got a good call tonight.
What the hell's going on out here?
Yeah, usually the calls the calls are janky at best, or we have mystery callers that call in that provide comedy. But that one was a true sports take, and we really appreciate that. So good call. With that being said, I'll play us out on Lee some Stukas. We did get a victory tonight. We forgot about that. It's like, who cares at this point, dude? We beat a 4A team, as Grillmaster likes to call everybody that sucks at some point. 4A. His favorite is 4A Shohei. So, it was a 4A Rockies team, but I appreciate the phone call. I appreciate all the comments tonight. It's been a tough one. Hopefully we can let's turn the page on this one. Let's quote the great Roger Lodge, who says, by far, The trade deadline is over, and we lost the players that we did. We gained the ones that we did, and now it's time not to worry about it. So don't worry about it, folks. We got a game with the Rockies, and it's retro week. Good night, everybody.